Welcome to another edition about how to read books. You know, I always said that books, they can be our best friends or our worst enemy. They all depends how we read books. For instance, here we have some of the books that I had to read over the many years of study: engineering, computer science, management, let's say corporate finance, microeconomics, management information system. And one of the latest one I had to read is the PMP. This is Project Management Professional. We have to always read books. Cracking the GMAT. This is when I did my master's degree in business. Discrete mathematics, whether we practice sports, martial arts, whatever we have to read, you know, the way we read books can really change dramatically our awareness about what we read, how we learned. The attitude about learning start by having a comfortable position when you read these kind of books. You know, if you have to read one of these books, and so you start reading, you know, initially like this, like this, like this, you are constantly changing position because you're not comfortable. And one of the worst things that could happen is that you damage your eyesight because you're not reading the characters properly. Basically, the lighting is reflecting like this and bouncing there instead of bouncing back. You know, when you have this posture and when you have this position of reading, the light will bounce back to your eyes so you have clarity when you read. So we're going to be talking about the benefits, and we're going to be talking about how we can really learn by reading a book comfortably. And one of the best things we're going to be introducing today is this wonderful book holder. As you can see, it's portable, and basically this is called the Postura book rest. It has two parts, the bottom and the top. Basically it has the two legs here, and then you place the top on the bottom, and then one click and you are done. Now let's try this. Let's try reading this big, heavy, you know, it's over 2 pounds book. Now if we open this book, look at the difference. The angle is perfect because the light coming this way and bounce back to your eyes, and then you have perfect shape of the characters. And one of the greatest advantage and benefits of having this book rest like this is that you don't need to bend forward. In fact, you want to go backwards. You want to lean back on your chair because you have to adjust, you know, your vision adjusts at the distance that the book is now presented to you. So you lean back. And now, one of the other features that we have is this holder at the back allows you to increase the angle. So now instead of 45 degrees, you can increase to 50, 60, 70 degrees, and now you can lean back. Now, what is the advantage of having a book presented this way? Is that instead of bending forward and collapsing, you're going to have now a position that allows you to relax. The diaphragm is not compressed. The chest is open, what allows you to breathe better, allows you to really relax better, and allows you to learn more effectively. You know, one of the struggles that most students have is how can you read a book for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours when you need to learn something, when you need to drill your brain with a learning process? Well, you need to breathe, you need to relax, you need to feel comfortable. Otherwise, you are constantly sabotaging your learning. So let's test this. Okay, big books are great for this, but also when you have small readings, you know, books like this, how can you keep this book open? How can you maintain this book open? Well, two things could happen. You have the elastics, and then you have the hooks. Let's try the hooks first. You place the hooks at the top of the reader, and then you open the book and let it sit on the hooks. Now you can read this book hands-free. That means you can use a pen to make your notes. You can facilitate the process of reading by interacting with the sentences you want to remember, right? Now, if you want to use this book in another way, instead of using the hooks, you can use the elastics. And for doing so, you have to make this book stand smaller. Look at the clever of this. So you make it smaller, and now this book can sit very natural in this size. Now, how do you keep it open? Well, you use these elastics that you put it on the top. And now what you do is you open the book, and you just need to clip the corners of the book. And then you keep naturally reading the book. Now, when you need to flip, you turn one page to the other one. And then when you start reading this book, you're going to notice that after a while of turning, you don't need to click both sides. Basically, you only click one side, and then you just keep turning here. When you reach the other end, then it's important that you need to click the other side. Once you have this position, the reading becomes very comfortable. The reading becomes natural. You don't have to think about breathing. You don't have to think about adjusting your vision. It becomes just like water. That means it's a flow of learning that you naturally learn to enjoy. You know, one of the things about water is when water flows effortless, you don't have resistance in your learning. You don't have resistance in the way you assimilate, in the way you read. And then you become thirsty for learning, thirsty for discovering, thirsty for understanding things better. But at the moment that you have an uncomfortable position, and then you start switching from here and switching from there and affecting your breathing, then water doesn't flow anymore. Water becomes stagnant, and this is what hinders the learning process. So this is a great tool that really facilitates the learning process, but most important, it will prevent neck problems, shoulder problems, breathing problems, concentration, and learning. Everything is affected when you have these issues. Now, finally, before we move into the benefits, let's say we want to read one of these kind of manuals or brochures, you know. How do you keep this open? Well, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. So the best way to do it is you go back to the size that you need to read. So basically, in one click, you have changed the size of the book holder. Now you open it like this, and then you can clip it at the bottom. That's another way to present your readings. So you can have the bottom, you can have the elastics, or you can use the hooks. Either way, the book will always be friendly and will always be presented to you naturally. Now look at the difference. When you read something like this, now you can engage your reading. Basically, you start making notes, you start marking, you become an active learner, an active reader. And when that happens, the process of learning is easier. Now, we're going to be talking about more about the benefits in the next video. But for today, just be mindful that the first thing you need is a book holder, a good one that will allow you to read comfortable, allows you to learn comfortable, and something that is practical, something that you can put it and use it anywhere. This is the Postura book holder. Very solid. It has a beautiful finish and it's portable. Something that will last your lifetime. So enjoy the readings, but be very mindful that one of the greatest advantages of having a good posture is that the breathing is natural, the learning is natural, and say you have to read something like this, where you are confined for many hours of readings, you have to be mindful that your posture is fundamental in the process of learning. So as I said before, books can be your best friends or your worst enemy. It all depends how we read the books. And for helping you read in a more natural, relaxed way, a book holder really does the work. This is one of the greatest discoveries that I had as a student, and over the years of learning and reading, really I managed to maintain the relaxed and good posture that I need to have when I have to read this kind of textbooks. Now, we will talk about the benefits later in other videos, but for now, I just want to let you know that it's important that you have to read with the right conditions. Because when you condition yourself to read books in a friendly way, your learning is better, your mental concentration improves, and you're preventing neck problems, back problems that later it will affect your learning abilities. So feel free to go to our website, learn more about how to read books properly, how to use tools to help you assist your learning process. We will talk more about the benefits in the next videos. So thanks for joining us, and I'll see you in the next video.